Hi everyone, a very warm welcome to our webinar, Ensure Seamless Onboarding Navigating the World of Online Account Opening, wherein today we'll be showcasing a demonstration of our online account opening solution. I am Rishabh Jain from Newgen Software and shall be your host and moderator for this webinar. I thank you once again for taking the time to join this webinar, and I'm delighted to welcome our panelists for today, Michael and Nishant, who will be taking you through the demonstration. We request you to type your questions in the chat window of your screen anytime during this demonstration, and our experts will address them at the end of the session. So, Michael, I hand it over to you. Please start.
Awesome. Thank you. And hi, everybody. My name is Michael. And again, on behalf of Newgen Software Technologies Canada, thank you again for joining and taking the time to watch our webinar today. Now, before we begin, please allow me to just take a few moments to touch on Newgen as a platform and the solution that we will be covering. Our solution is built on the low-code NewgenONE platform, which includes a combination of low-code automation, content management, and communication management capabilities that can be used for the digital transformation of various banking use cases. The platform allows for financial institutions to implement one solution, such as digital account opening, and continue to build and evolve on the same platform as business and customer-centric needs change. Solutions such as account maintenance, retail loan origination, commercial loan origination, as well as vital organizational solutions like trade finance, accounts payable, and so on, can all be added to the existing platform with ease, increasing the value of the Newgen low-code platform. So the platform is able to become more than just a point solution and fosters a long-term relationship with the financial institution for a higher ROI. Now, before moving on to the demonstration, I wanted to just briefly give an overview of Newgen's digital account opening. Our solution allows consumer and business accounts to be opened in a matter of minutes with automated approvals and reducing the manual reviews. It has a full-fledged back office system for application reviews, documentation, follow-up, and approvals. Newgen's low-code platform delivers a fully automated experience for the new account opening process for an exceptional customer experience. Let's go ahead and jump into the demonstration here. Now, imagine you have a prospective customer that has come to your website and has decided they want to open an account. So what we're going to do here is let them know the basic details that they'll need to complete this process. Now, what we're doing here, you can see, is simply asking for one piece of information from the applicant, and that's their phone number. And the reason we're doing this is we're able to determine through integration with the core if this is a new customer or existing customer. Also, this allows the system to perform a dedupe check if the customer already has an existing account or application in progress. So allow me to go ahead and continue forward here with the phone number. And before I continue, I just wanted to also mention that I am giving this demonstration on my laptop. However, this is a device responsive interface, and it automatically adjusts as per the applicant's device. So let me just show you briefly how that would work. Now, in my Google Chrome browser, I can emulate a mobile device by entering developer mode. So if I do a right click and hit inspect, and you can see that automatically the screen optimizes depending on the device that's being used by the applicant. Let me just go back to the regular mode here. Now, as I scroll down, you can see that we have some language here about capturing the communication consent from the applicant. We allow a simple check of the toggle switch, or you can require that the customer or applicant actually clicks on the link itself before they can continue. Now, once I click continue, a couple of things are going to happen. One is that we perform a verification on the applicant to make sure that we're dealing with a real person giving us correct information. So we'll send a one-time password provided to the phone number, that was provided, and the applicant can enter to verify themselves here. Additionally, we can perform a geolocation check once the applicant starts the journey to check if they're applying from a restricted region as per the financial institution's policy. Now, once I went ahead and verified myself, the system also performs a search and recognizes that this applicant has already started an application. Since this is the case, we're going to go ahead and provide two options to the applicant. They can resume their journey and pick up where they left off, or they can go ahead and discard the old one and start a new one. So let's go ahead and just start a new application. Now, once I move forward, the system does ask me for my date of birth. And the reason we're doing this is to filter out any deposit products for which I may or may not be eligible for based upon my age. So this could be something like a youth account or maybe a senior account as well. Now, once I enter my date of birth, I can do that manually or use a date picker. I'm going to just go ahead and proceed. And I have the ability to go ahead and browse through the different accounts for which I am eligible. Newgen solution allows the selection of multiple accounts and displays all the account details as well as the eligibility criteria as per the financial institution's policy. So you can see here if I'm browsing through the accounts, I can click on the acceptable identification documents, and I can see which documents would be accepted across all the different account types. Let me just go ahead and add two accounts here. So let's add a checking as well as a savings. And you can see that once I add those, we have a shopping cart-like experience where all of my selections are clearly displayed at the top of the page. So let me go ahead and continue forward. Now, once we arrive at the personal details page, I do have different options to pre-fill my information. So I'm going to go ahead and I can select an ID type here that I can go ahead and upload. Now, being on the laptop, I can upload an existing image. If I was on a smartphone or a tablet, I can click this camera icon and then snap that picture in real time. So let me just go ahead and upload some information I have available here. So my information will be extracted and automatically pre-filled into the application. Now the data is able to be extracted here. Let me see, it looks like it didn't pull it in. Typically what happens is it'll pull in off of OCR or it can capture from the barcode on the back. If there is some issue, we can always, of course, go ahead and complete this manually as well. So just bear with me while I go ahead and complete this here. All of the driver's license information, ID information, the address information would all be complete here. I'm just going to go ahead and capture this here. Oops. Now we also ask some information about when the applicant might have moved to this address. And the reason we do this is because we want to capture if someone is new to Canada, and this could be to offer any cross-sell, upsell opportunities, maybe some loan opportunities that might be there as well. Now, as we move forward, we're going to go ahead and also capture the applicant's employment details. Now, we do have that capability with the ID. Here, we can select whether employed or student, and we'll capture different information depending on the scenario. And we can also leverage integration with systems like Canada Post to also pull in the address. So let me go ahead and capture these details here. Once we come to the address, we'll go ahead and once I start typing here, we can have a pre-filling depending on what I'm selecting, and we'll just make sure we have that correct address there. Now you saw we also asked for the employment categorization or industry type, and the reason we do this is we are also able to map the different categories based upon the industry, and we can flag this depending on the type of risk that I might have. So for example, if the applicant is working maybe in casino or some other volatile industry, we can mark it as a higher risk case and then require an automatic review. Here I can go ahead and add any co-applicants. If I did, I just can also indicate the number. Just in the interest of time, I'm going to say no. And also the same for any beneficiaries as well. Now here we come to the review page. So just to make sure that I've captured everything correctly, I can go ahead and double check. If I see some error or typo, I can always click edit and make any updates here. Otherwise, we'll assume that everything is okay. Now, once we come to the bottom of the review page, we can see that we do present the applicant with some language about capturing their consent. And we've also replaced the continue button with an I agree button. So if they would like to proceed with the application, they would have to agree to running all the various checks that are going to be performed. Now these can be external and internal blacklist checks, AML checks, credit bureaus, and so on. This could potentially be from over 1,000 different various database checks that are available out there through integration. Yeah, apologies, it looks like I might have had some connection issue here. But what we'll do here is we'll just jump forward here to the next screen is going to be to go ahead and capture any of the different options that we have available from the account. So just bear with me for one moment. And so depending on the accounts that I'm selecting, whether that are there, we have things like debit card, overdraft protection, and then we can also capture all of the disclosure acknowledgments as well. So these are going to be rule-based. Here we just allow a simple check of the box, and we can just go ahead and continue forward. Now we do have integration with systems like eSign, so we can capture the electronic signature, and we do integrate with all the various eSign providers across the marketplace. And so the applicant doesn't even have to leave their screen. They can go ahead and adopt their signature, and we'll pre-fill any of those account forms that would be required. Now coming back here, once we complete this, we can fund any of the accounts that we have. Now we did have some minimum deposits here, so those are pre-filled for me. If I want, I can change those, otherwise we'll just continue forward. And we do have a few options here, whether it's external transfer, debit or credit card. We'll go ahead and use the external transfer, which is going to leverage integration with Plaid. So once we move forward here, we can click continue and we'll select our existing financial institution and enter our username and password here. Once we enter those, we can display the accounts that we're going to be linking here. We can make any selections if necessary and then continue forward. And now our accounts have been linked with the financial institution. And so here we can go ahead and also present any cross-sell or upsell opportunities that are there. We can also leverage integration with the core to be able to pull back those account numbers. And what we're also able to do is trigger the SIF creation via API, and we can the account will also be created in a debit freeze here to also help minimize the risk exposure. So that's going to go ahead and cover the online journey. Let's also take a look at what the in-branch experience would be like as well. And bear with me while I switch my screen over here. So let me jump into the system as one of the authorized users. Now, once I log into the system, this is what we refer to as our personalized user workspace. And the reason we call it this is because I'm able to create and tailor specific landing pages that are going to be most useful to the profile of the user that's logging into the system. So someone that might be a manager versus a frontline branch worker, they might have different information that they would want to see on their screen, and we can create those relevant snapshots for them. You can even navigate through the system using these graphs here. So if I wanted to see, the different applications, from today or the week that I need to review or what's been completed, I can pull those up. So once I click on any of these, it'll show me all those here. Now, over on the left-hand side, these are all of the different queues that are in the system. So it is a queue-based system. So the system will automatically route the application to the correct queue. We'll go ahead and initiate a new application from the back office here. So this would be like the in-branch experience that you would be seeing. So I'm going to click the plus sign. It'll go ahead and launch my interface. And since we walked through the online journey as a new customer, I'm going to go ahead and do the in-branch version as if I am a existing customer. Go ahead and enter. We'll search by the social insurance number, and we've returned a match for Samuel. We can pull him into the application. Now, once I do the search here, you can see all of Samuel's information is going to be pre-filled for me, so I don't have to manually key those details in. If I click next, I can also see the beneficiary details. And once I click next, our screen's going to refresh here, and you'll see that we have the addition of some new tabs in our interface. So I'll take a quick pause here before we jump forward. I didn't describe this yet. So within our interface at the top, we have this header that just gives me some basic details about this application, who's the customer, where is this coming from, what is the application number. And then down below, we do have this tracker. So as we move through, we always know where we're at in the process. And then down below that, we have all the different tabs here. So it works really well to just walk through this in this logical left to right format, addressing each tab and each section. When we started the application, we only had this tab, and then once I move forward, now we have all of these tabs that we'll work with here. Now for Samuel, we'll go ahead and add a new account here. So I just simply click add, and any of the accounts that are eligible to be added to his profile here, I can select from. Once I make a selection, any of those account details will be populated here, so I can review those. If this sounds good, I can save and next to add additional, or I can save and close and we can move forward. Now, once we move forward to the services, any available services based upon the account that's been selected can be viewed here. So if I want to add overdraft, I can do this. In this case, I'll hit save and next. So this little window will stay open for me, and then I can also add a debit card as well. So we only have one applicant, so Samuel's name's automatically there. If we have multiple, you can select, for whom you would like to have the debit card issued for. Now here we can go ahead and also select how we would like to have this delivered. So it's via mail or in branch, and we'll save and close. Now moving forward, we do have the identity verification tab. So this is where we can leverage any of those third-party systems that the financial institution would like to utilize. In the case of the demonstration, we have just a couple of examples here. One of those is going to be Alloy, where I can run the Alloy search. And then depending on the systems selected through Alloy, we can see all the results here. So whether the qualifier results, any of the scores, reports, any tags that are being returned here, depending on those systems that have been selected. We also did have, as an example, Qualifile as a standalone, where I can go ahead and generate that report. In a very similar fashion, it'll go ahead, perform those searches, give me some visual indicators that the results are here. And then also I can view the detailed report. I can see, all the information, the verification data, as well as what is the recommended action here. Now, for demonstration purposes, in the interest of time, for these next two tabs, we haven't made anything mandatory. But of course, in real life scenario, when we come for implementation, we configure all of the mandatory due diligence questions, documents. This could also be any AML, KYC, account usage details, anything like that that you would want to capture. We would configure those here. So just a few examples here, just showing that, as I mentioned, that's not mandatory, just in the interest of time. So we'll just go ahead and also take a look at the documents section. Now again, none of these have been made mandatory, but what we do is we create those rules to have that document checklist. So whichever documents would be required for the different accounts that are being opened across, whether it's the primary or a joint owner, we would have all those documents listed here. If you do have a scenario where someone walks into the branch and maybe they don't have certain documents with them, we do have this section here where I can request documents. So I can select whichever documents I need. I can click the request documents button. And then what happens is the applicant would go ahead and receive an email, and it would have a link where they could click on the link and then come back to the system and upload those documents that I've selected here in this section. Meanwhile, that application will be parked until those documents are uploaded, but once those are uploaded, the system will automatically pick that up and then move it forward within the workflow there. Now, once I move forward here, once we've captured all of the data and information and documents through these first few tabs, I'll go ahead and make my decision here. So I can say that I'm approving this, or maybe I had to request documents, or I'm declining. So whatever the case may be, we can go ahead and submit that decision. Now, once I go ahead and submit, again, my screen will refresh here, and I'm going to have a few additional tabs that I did not have there before. So now I'd also have the addition of the signing and funding tab. So down below, you can see we only have one applicant in this case, and I have different options here. If I do select email, what happens is that I can send off this email to Samuel. He'll get that email or have a link, and he can complete the e-signing on his own. So this might work really well for someone that maybe just stopped into the branch, maybe on their lunch break. They only have a few minutes, and they can just go ahead and complete the rest of this process at home. Other options would be the in-person e-sign, which we'll walk through here in a moment, or the in-person would be a scenario where you're using an electronic signature pad, for example, or even a wet signature on actual paper documents as well. So for the demonstration, we'll walk through the in-person e-sign. You'll see what that experience is like here, where we will provide some on-screen instructions. So here, once this is pulled up, it says bank staff, go ahead and pass control over to Samuel, and we can go ahead and click continue. Now for the demonstration, we're just asking for only one signature here. So I'm going to go ahead and adopt and apply my signature, and we'll click finish. If I want to add additional emails, I have that option. Otherwise, we'll just click continue. And then we can say, go ahead, to complete the signing process, go ahead and pass control back to the bank staff. So we'll just say OK. And we'll come back up here with our system has got the information back. So we'll say OK. And we'll move forward. This will bring us to the funding step. So whatever options you want to present here, we can present. For, again, this account, we did have a minimum deposit, which has been pre-filled. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it there. And here we can go ahead and select if I want to do ACH, cash check, debit card, and we'll start capturing that information here. Now, once we capture those details, we'll go ahead and submit. And this is where we can, again, leverage the integration with the core. We can go ahead and trigger that SIF number, account number, and pull that back into the Newgen system as well. We can also do a quick kind of an account summary screen so I can see what accounts are there now, what the account numbers are, if we need to order checks. We can also see the SIF number, and that's going to go ahead and complete our in-branch journey as well. Now this application will still be in the Newgen system here, but now we're just looking at this in a completely read-only format. So the account has been, you can see the status is completed. It's been pushed to the core. So I can of course view the data, but I can't make any changes here. So that'll go ahead and complete our journey there for both the customer journey online as well as the back office. So this time we can go ahead and also open this up for any questions.
Thank you, Michael. That was an insightful session. And the forum is now open for questions. Okay, Michael, so I've got one for you. So, when you talk about branch walk ins, are most of your customers using this for customer coming in an opening via kiosk, or is the branch side using this in place of a core system account opening workflow?
Okay. So what we have seen a couple of different approaches there in the marketplace. You do certainly have the capability in the system to use the Newgen system in place of the core system, so we can leverage that integration, allow the customers to come in. Your frontline workers will be able to sit with them, open up the account, capture the signatures, handle all the disclosures. But we've also seen the approach where clients want to have an in-branch experience where it's very similar to the online experience. So have that same look and feel, the online flow. So that approach is there where you could use the online kind of version, let's say using a tablet or something in branch, where someone will sit there and help guide the customer along. So that option is there as well.
Okay, thank you, Michael. There's another one coming up. So, do you have built in capabilities for cross selling, or is it through integration with one of our systems?
Sure. So actually, both options are there. So we do have a built-in rule engine that's part of the Newgen platform, and this does allow us to define, different qualifications or parameters that might be there across different products, and then based upon those results, we can go ahead and present an offer as part of the flow. We also do have that capability where if you have some type of third-party system that you want to use or incorporate, we can feed the data over to it and allow that system to process it. And then we would get those results and then present it accordingly. So it'd be completely up to you as per your preference.
Okay, Thank you, Michael. Uh, is this solution on premise or is it hosted on cloud?
Sure, sure. So what we've mostly seen, especially as of lately, is that most of our conversations with prospective clients, they are electing for the cloud model. Um, and for the cloud model, we do host the solution on either Amazon Web Services or Azure. So it's completely as per the preference of the financial institution. But we do have both the on-prem as well as cloud versions available for clients.
Okay, thank you, Michael. There's another one to follow. If you are an existing customer, will the data be pre-filled here or will one have to enter it?
Yeah, so if they are an existing customer, we are also able to leverage integration with online banking or core banking. So all of the data would be able to be pre-filled. And then depending how you'd like to handle it, we could also even leave certain fields open to be edited. So maybe some simple fields like an email address or a phone number, perhaps something has changed or needs to be updated. But yeah, any data that you already have on hand on the systems like the core can be pre-filled. It'll really help reduce that manual data entry. So for especially those existing customers, they don't have to enter anything. It just makes the process really simple and easy for them to come in and add any new deposit products.
Okay, thank you, Michael. Uh, these are the questions that have been put up at the moment. So, if you have any other questions, please feel free to put those in the question window. We'll wait for a couple of minutes and then maybe we can wrap this up. Okay, I don't see any other questions coming up at the moment. So, please feel free to write to us if you have any other questions and we'll be in touch with you. So, thank you everyone for joining in today for this webinar. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Nishant. And have a good day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.